In just a few days, Starfield will be launching, and I share the anticipation that many of you feel. As we count down to its release, let's delve into some of the more intriguing aspects of the game. While some of these points that I touch on are well known, a few might surprise even the most informed fans. So here are my top 5 essential facts about Starfield that you should know before playing. You can build a base on any planet. I think this is probably one of the more well-known features about the game, especially for players that are more informed. However, it's worth noting for people that really haven't been paying attention. So very similar to how Fallout 4 settlements work, you will be able to build a base on pretty much any planet that is out there. While we don't have any hard confirmations on building a base on planets that have major cities on them, it is known that on the more barren planets out there, you could definitely build pretty much anywhere you want. And while we also don't have any information on how big of a base you can build, Todd did say in an interview that you can definitely build some pretty big bases, however, it's going to cost a lot of resources to manage them. And speaking of resources, apparently that's going to be a pretty big thing with these bases, is you'll be able to actually set up machines or machinery to basically farm resources out of the planet. Another really interesting feature about base building is that you'll actually be able to assign NPCs to live on your bases. Apparently you'll be able to have them work and maintain your base so that way your machines are more efficient. And the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to base building is that you'll be able to have multiple bases on multiple planets. And then on top of that, you'll also be able to set up trade routes between your different bases. This is probably going to work out very similar to how the traders worked in your Fallout 4 settlements. You'll more than likely have to build some kind of spaceport or pad for a ship to land and launch on, and then they'll be using that to go back and forth between your different bases. This next feature is probably one of the more exciting ones that I'm looking forward to, and it is the fact that you can actually board enemy ships and steal them. So unless you've been living under a rock, everyone knows that there's going to be space combat in Starfield. It's going to be very similar to how most space sim games work. You'll be able to fly and shoot in third or first person and, commit to dogfighting. And it wasn't until that 40-minute preview that Bethesda put out showcasing the game that we knew we would actually be able to board and steal enemy ships. So the way that this is going to work is that you'll actually be able to cripple the enemy ship instead of destroying it. And once their ship is, unable to fly, you'll be able to board the ship. So once you're actually inside, you'll have to fight your way through the enemy ship all the way to the bridge and basically clear out all the enemies. And once everyone's dead, you'll be able to claim it as your own. And what I think is really cool about this whole mechanic is that when they were showing off the video in the showcase, it looked like it was in 0G, so you were literally flying around inside the enemy ship while you cleared your way through. I think it's just a really nice touch, and I think this is going to just add another layer of depth to this game and just make it that much more fun. So another new piece of news that just recently came out in the last day or so is the fact that there is no level cap. So what this means is that you can basically just keep playing the game and leveling your character indefinitely. And this is going to put down a pretty huge impact on your gameplay experience. I think the biggest one here is the fact that since there is no level cap, you'll probably be able to just indefinitely level up every single skill point in the game. Now granted, I imagine that if there's no level cap, if you want to truly get every single skill point in the game, it's probably going to take a lot longer to do that just because of how much more experience you'll need. But I mean, it is there for you if you want it. So what this means is that you're not going to have to worry too much about having to, start a new game if you want to try a different build. It just means you just keep playing and eventually get the points for that build. Another new feature we're getting is New Game Plus. So this is actually the first time a BGS game has actually put this in there, which is kind of exciting. And I think this feature works out pretty well with the fact that there's no level cap, so you could just keep playing the game over and over if you wanted to. Now, we don't know exactly what the tie-ins are with the New Game Plus, and obviously I don't want to get into any spoilers here, and again because there's still an NDA, but it sounds to me like there's going to be some story beats as to why there's a New Game Plus. And the last feature I want to talk about is the game is huge. So we've got 1,000 planets to explore, and each planet is going to be probably twice the size of Fallout 4's playable map, which is incredible. And the fact that this is going to be for literally every single planet just kind of blows your mind. Now, real quick, I just want to throw out a quick disclaimer. As far as the size of all these different planets, it's not confirmed yet. This is just kind of what I've gotten from looking over different things on the internet. So they could be smaller or they could be a lot bigger. But I will say that I just want to get people prepped and let them know that most of these planets are probably just going to be massive, barren, empty spaces. So don't expect that every single one of these planets are just going to be full of stuff for you to do. And I've already seen people on the internet basically making fun of this, saying like, oh wow, there's nothing to do on this planet. But at the same time, it's like, you know what, I'd rather have this than what we had in Mass Effect, where you fly to a planet and then you just scan the surface. Yeah, because that's fun. But either way, people are always going to find something to complain about, so take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, that's where we're going to call it for tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my first Starfield video and that you got something out of it. I plan to be making a lot more content for Starfield in the future, so stay tuned. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel for more awesome content like this in the future. I'm still Solo, and I'll see you guys in the next one.